and all that. So nowadays, you never know. That's why I'm glad all my daughters are live together with their mother. So they don't have no grandbabies, so they don't have no crazy boyfriends. So I'm happy with that. I'm content with that. Because if they had any crazy boyfriends, then, they had to step his bounds and go over there and take care of somebody.
Well, welcome to the DMV Sports Show. I'm your host, Rasul McGee. Sorry to keep you waiting. As always, technical difficulty. It runs history here. But we're here on a Saturday. That's right, a Saturday. To hear the sports that you want to hear on your night. Once again, I'm Rasul McGee, the night show host from the Post of Virginia. And we're going to start with the Washington Commanders, the Washington Wizards, Washington Capitals, Baltimore Orioles, and Maryland Terrapins. And also the calling number is 512-543-4662. I say again, 512-543-4662. State your name and who you represent, and we'll get the question out as quickly as possible and with the answer as well. So with that being said, let's get started. The Washington Commanders just recently made a really futuristic move. They are keeping Kashmir Allen on the roster, along with another youngster who is going to be the bright spot of the Commanders. Now, they should go ahead and sign Antonio Gibson, because this guy, even though he's going to be a $2.5 million cap hit, he could potentially help us with the next game one of next season. Also, they should also go ahead and sign the wide receiver on the roster as well, or the tight end John Bates and Cole Turner to a sizable contract, because they're going to be big parts of our transitioning moving forward as well. So they should take a look at that as well, and start putting the playbook together and get everybody into the groove, along with Scary Terry and Johan Dotson. With that being said, I feel like the consistency of I had recently put out a poll on Facebook. And on the Facebook page, I asked, who would you like to see with the number 2 selection in the NFL draft? As it was stated, I got a lot of positive and negative feedback. I don't understand the negative, but the positive feedback was, first I said anything but Caleb and nobody else. They said anybody but Sam. Some said that anybody but Drake May. I'm like, Drake May, really? Why would we want Drake May? The man has only been out there for 4 years and hasn't really done anything. The other person, I couldn't grasp why, but they say Bo Nix, and I'm like, why Bo Nix? What about Bo Nix that screams, "Hey, come to Commanders"? You're gonna tell me we're gonna fall all the way down the line and get Bo Nix. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate the guy. I just don't see the explosiveness that I see out of the primary quarterbacks that we have on the list. Remember, we're at number 2. We're not going to just go through the whole quarterback selection and go, aha, we found the guy at number 22. What? 22? What do you do at 22? The majority of the top 10 at number 1, you're going to fall to 22 and pick Bo Nix? That doesn't make sense to me.
So you can flip a coin and say who you want.
Exactly.
That's how bad number 2 is.
Exactly. Do you know how long ago honestly, I can't remember how far along we were when we select at number 2, right? I know we selected. I remember we select number 5, number 7, number 9, number 11, number 12.
We had Chase Young. Chase Young was number 2.
Yeah.
And then you can go back a couple of years, and I'm looking at it. Samuels and Erickson.
Right.
That was chose 2 and number 3.
Right.
He chose Samuel first, and then he chose Erickson second.
So that proves my point. We had number 2 before, and we never picked a quarterback that was beneficial to us. We always picked offensive line or defense, right? So now we have an opportunity to pick a quarterback that is potentially going to change Washington. And you're going to go Bo Nix. Bo Nix is by far the least quarterback on the list that we need to get. We're not going to go all the way down the line and go, aha, the guy from Cincinnati could potentially be a quarterback for our liking. No. The top tiers.
Bo Nix is number 5. He's the number 5 rated quarterback in the draft.
But if you look at the list that we have, it's not Bo Nix number 1. It's actually Caleb, Michael Penix, Drake May, probably up there.
Daniels is in there too.
Daniels, yeah.
Top 3.
That's what I'm saying. We have the number 2 selection of our lives, and you're going to throw in Bo Nix, which is, don't get me wrong. He might be a good quarterback, but he's not top tier. I'm not downplaying his ability, but he's not top tier.
Yeah, but here's another monkey in the wrench. Now you have the Chicago Bear quarterback that's on the trading block.
Why?
And they talk about him going to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well,
Pittsburgh will
Wait a
move
minute,
up to our spot. They're on teams. There are 8 teams right now that want to get into the Commanders' second pick.
But let me do this. I forgot to do this at the beginning of the show. We have our panel. We have Big Steve, and we have Coach. And I'm so sorry I didn't do that because we just jumped right on in. Go ahead. I'm continuing. I had to give the listeners that. Go ahead.
On the Commander mission.
Yeah, there you go. but if you look at because Coach did this last Saturday, right? She told us that what they're trying to do, they're trying to get Taylor Heineke to go to Pittsburgh. But keep in mind, Taylor Heineke is a top tier quarterback. This man came into Washington and lit the fire.
Let us up, man.
He lit up the Commanders fan base like nobody's business. I know in the wings it was Sam Howell sitting down, but this man had 5-game winning streaks, not once but twice. And if you bring him back here, he will light the fire again. This man is ready.
Yeah.
So I would go ahead.
He got another name. Kurt Cousins.
No. Forget about it. Next question. No. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And he threw interceptions like Sam Howell.
Went up by $30 million, right? And we would have over $100 million, the most of any NFL team.
That's true.
To get anybody.
But here,
Kirk Cousins. If we pick, say we get Kirk Cousins as a free agent, that means we can get the top left tackle, which is from Notre Dame. Get him at 6'8", 345 pounds.
Bro.
Man.
Let me say this. Let me say this to you.
He didn't fire us up.
No, he did not. Exactly. Thank you so much, Coach. Listen, Big Steve. I hear your enthusiasm for Kurt. Don't get me wrong. He took us to and won the NFC East championship in 2015. I get that 100%. Here's the problem with Kurt. Kurt is listed at 5'9.5". He had a problem of throwing in the pocket. He had to be he had been a shotgun. He could throw, don't get me wrong. He could throw, he could score touchdown, but his problem is by far throwing. Is he loves throwing into double coverage, not once but every game, bro. No.
He led the NFL in the biggest comeback.
Yes.
The NFL
Yes, he did. That was against Tampa Bay. Yes, it was.
Not Indianapolis Colts. Not Indianapolis Colts.
Oh yeah, Indianapolis close. Yeah, Indianapolis close. Excuse me. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying to you. How many games was that? How many fourth quarter comebacks do you have?
Yeah, a whole bunch. I mean, don't get me wrong. Between his record and RG3 record, his record was better than RG3.
Well, we're not talking about RG3 versus Kirk Cousins. That debate is far gone.
That's all, even that Minnesota before he got hurt.
But my point is, you're bringing up. Wait, hold on. You're bringing up a statistic that was by far gone because RG3 is not in the league no more. So you can't bring up statistics like that because he's still playing. Of course, his record's going to be far more advanced because he's playing with the Vikings. I don't want to bring into that stat because of the fact that if they're playing, yeah, you could bring it up. But if they're not, there's no reason for it to reach that level because he's with another team. He's not the Commanders. Now, as for let's say that Taylor Heineke, then Taylor Heineke versus Kirk Cousins will win that by far because Kirk Cousins been in the league that long and Taylor Heineke just came off the couch. So my thing is,
how did he come back though?
No, well, see, that's another thing. That's another thing. You're
he liked up DENI.
No, and guess who would be his? Look, even if we stay with Sam Howell, guess who our offensive coordinator is? Q-Berry, who had Mahomes and had Baker as his quarterback.
Okay.
So, there are some people saying, keep what you got, work with him, fix the offensive line.
Well, before we start, we got to bring in a
wait. They're going to have to bring Heineke in as coach. I can tell you that right now.
Well, let's
tell you that.
Well, let's
how it was thinking Dallas, not this last season, but when we had Heineke, it's because Heineke told him
right.
what to do.
Here.
Hello.
Well, before we start that debate, we got to bring in one more caller. He is the co-host of the Enhanced Sports Show, none other than Louis Tenor. Welcome, buddy.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay. I had to bring you in. So Lou, we bring you up to speed. Of course, every Saturday we talk about the Commanders and what the next step will be, and we got to give your input into the quarterback situation. So we were just talking about bringing in Kirk Cousins. Well, that was Steve's idea. What do you think about that idea?
Bringing Kirk Cousins into the Commanders?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
He's at the end of his rope.
Thank you.
Pretty much.
Thank you. The man has lost his zip. He has lost his. Here's the problem with that idea. Okay. Yes, we're going to be in a really good spot with the much cap room money that we're going to get. You have, like, this is what I was talking about with Bo Nix, right? You're going to reach at the bottom of the experience pool to bring back somebody who couldn't even understand throwing double coverage is bad. Well, if I could zip it right between the eyes, I can get him right there. It's like threading a needle. If I find a needle and hand stack, I can find that needle. And he's going to throw it. And he's going to say, haha, I caught it. Or he's like, oh, I give it to the other team. So my point is, why would you reach that deep? It's like going, okay, here's another example. This should be the most understanding example that I can ever throw. It's like reaching out for Mitch Trubisky from the Pittsburgh Steelers and bringing him to the Commanders. Said that is the best quality quarterback we could come up with. Would you tell me I'm crazy, or would you say you need to go back to that crazy house on the high hill when they got you in a straight jacket.
Right.
You would probably tell me don't do no more radio shows for the rest of your years. If I catch you outside your house, I'm gonna throw an egg at your forehead. That's exactly what exactly what I'm telling you. I know I got some really I don't hate Kirk Cousins. I just feel like this is not the talent pool you want to touch, right? There's a whirlpool over here. There's a whole whirlpool over there, but there's a nice clean water over there. You want to go where the whirlpool is. Exactly.
Like CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud. Well, here the Tennessee.
I would love to have one like that.
The Houston Texans.
I'll take this. Yes, I would grab Heineke in a heartbeat because.
Oh, you and me both.
I know. Yeah. And that's the reason I posted it. And I said, hello.
But see, that's
hand up there. Do you see this?
See, I like what Coach did. Coach understood, and I'm not saying that y'all don't. I'm not saying Big Steve don't. I'm saying not Lou. What Coach did was she went and saw that we are deep in money, that we can bring talent to Washington, not past tense, but those who created a burst of excitement for the community. When you have the community behind you, you know that good things are happening. Here's another example of that. Remember John Wall and what he did for basketball, right, Big Steve? Remember how the stadiums were packed every game day, cheering. And remember we had Paul Pierce and we took on Atlanta and we got them back for hurting John Wall's hand, and John Wall wanted that game. And that series meant something. Imagine what we could do with bringing Heineke in, rookies, veterans, bring them together. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a good idea to bring back old past.
Veterans loved him.
Exactly my point. Bring it in veterans.
It brought the people back in.
Yes.
Yeah.
That town, that DC was lit.
Lord, he was winning.
Yes. Yes.
Like, boom, boom.
And
boom,
here's the stat.
boom.
Here's the thing I love about this. John Wall, the Wizards, this is what you like to hear when you talk about stats. John Wall was the only player to change the statistics of teams creating a game 7. All the game 6s were won by the previous team. John Wall won game 6 at home against Boston Celtics. Isaiah Thomas and Avery Johnson. He changed that stat. So it was 0 and 10. Now it's 1 and 10 because of John Wall. Now, I know what you're saying. That was a losing game. He lost game 7. No. Here's the thing. Statistic tells us that 100% of every single team in game 6 are going to win no matter what the issue is. He defied the odds and won the game. The team won the game. They celebrated. What's his name? Mokeith Morris. Otto Porter. No, just imagine how unified this town would be now that you have an offense that's going to light you up. Now you bring in a big nucleus of defense. Now, John Witt Jr., the guy that was from Dallas, the linebacker coach, I was shocked. Like I said on last Saturday, what he said really shocked me because he wanted this job really bad. And I'm like, dude, how many people in Dallas are Commander fans that's on that team?
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You've been bound to us for years and now you're a Commander fan? Yo, I'm sorry, Lou.
That don't make sense.
I know you're going to have a nightmare about this. That's your team. But there's a lot of Commander fans playing against us. I'm sorry. Sorry, man. But, you know, I'm not picking on you. I'm just letting you know there is a big Commander fan base on that team. And I was shocked to even see Zeke Elliott, a Commander fan. I'm like, dude, you're running back for the Commanders. How can you be a Commander fan? I mean, for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know, bro. Something's wrong there. You know, you better not tell nobody else in that whole community because they'll come at your house. That's why they wanted Zeke out so bad. He was probably getting hate mail. Probably getting hate mail. Oh, you're a Commander fan? All right, you're going to get less to pay when you order out from Papa John's. But anyway, my point is the things that we do from this point on, it's going to affect the team because we're number 2 in the NFL draft. We have counting down right now. Let me put up the countdown clock. We have 61 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 56 seconds from the NFL 2024 draft. And I tell you right now, folks, this is by far the most. I thought the political election was intense, but the NFL draft is really intense this year. I'm talking about we got quarterbacks, defense. We have to worry about the offense, defense, and special teams. Bro, I can't even sit still. I want to go out there and be in the draft right now and make a selection. You know, that's what I feel like. When do we know when the NFL draft is going to be held? Where is it going to be held this year? Last year was Chicago.
I think it's back to Philly, if I'm not mistaken.
Philly?
Or San Francisco. I think it's Vegas, if I'm not mistaken.
Vegas? Yeah. Sheesh. People are going to be cooking out there. I'm talking about people. No, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about cooking like on the grill. People are going to be baking. That's hot. That's hot Vegas. Yeah. Sheesh. You're going to have brains. You're going to have people struggling, drinking water and throwing them water bottles at each other. No, I'd rather watch it on TV. That's not a celebration you want to see. Everybody going to be frustrated. It's hot outside. Was it last year? It reached 112.
No, it's going to be in Detroit. It's in Detroit.
Oh, Detroit! Thank God. Detroit. Okay, that's good because at least
April the 25th to April the 27th.
Okay, I can go to Detroit. Yeah. That's going to be cheap. All right, folks. If you want to go to the NFL draft this year, it's going to be held in Detroit. Just know that, you know, if bring your winter coats because we don't know what the weather's going to be there. So I'm definitely if it's near the waterfront in Michigan, then that's where I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be in Michigan waterfront and skydiving. No, I'm just playing. I can't skydive. I'm afraid of heights. Anyway, but there you go. See, Lou's he's prepared. Yeah, I'm gonna bring a parachute. Yeah,
I'll bring 2 of them.
Yeah, bring 5 of them because I'm gonna wrap them around my neck if I'm flying up in the air.
Wow.
No, well, not like that. No, I'm talking about skydiving. Like, no, I'm scared of heights. I want to make sure that I get down safe. Folks, never mind. Forget what I just said. We'll go back to sports. Okay, so listen. The thing about it is that we got off track because of my analogies. But anyway, my thing is this is so important because we held the number 2 selection and we got all the needs in the world. Now, Do we drop down? Of course we drop down because we got a lot to get now. That's when the deals are being made. So I figure Adam Peters and now Dan Quinn, head coach, and John Witt Jr., the defensive head coach, are going to sit down and get quality players to play the positions that we have on the team. Now, Kingsbury is going to have to evaluate everything on the roster to see who's going to be here.
How many coaches do they have so far?
Well, it depends if you have quality coach. You know, the quality coach has to deal with the equipment.
Yeah.
You have the what is that called? The quarterback coach. The quarterback has to, teach the quarterback the fundamentals. You have the offensive line coach who has to teach the offensive line techniques on blocking the defense. You have the D-back coach that has to tell the DBs where to be at on the field and what techniques to use when covering the wide receivers. It's a lot of techniques of a lot of coaches up there, because, when you bring in your own guys, it's all about fraternity. If you're in that fraternity, you're going to be on our team. If you're in
They better be communicating good.
you know what? That's the thing that we were lacking last year. Nobody was talking to each other. But
Amen.
But I think Dan Quinn is the type of person that's going to have this team more talking loudly versus, not talking. It's like being on the basketball court. You got to talk to your player. Hey, cover that guy. Cover that guy. They're in 2D zone. Go ahead and cover that guy. All right. They're going to dribble him with the left hand. All right. Go ahead and swipe it out of his hand and get a bucket. Well, in this case, you have to talk to the defense as well. Talk to the offense. Hey, listen, cover number 54. He's going to block the A gap. Double team him, and we can run it up the gap. All right, cool. Let's do that. I like that. You know what I like also? I like the Greg Williams approach. Smash mouth football. That's what we're known for.
That's our defensive coordinator right there.
No, Big Steve. That's what I was about to say. John Witt coming here is the type of person that you want to establish a Greg Bloch type of defense. But now here's the thing about what he said on the presser that really got me excited. He said, and I quote, that there is some versions of a 3-4, and there's some versions of a 4-3, but you don't run the whole scheme. What you do is you run some version of it and then put your own spin to it. I'm like, wait a minute, you could do that? Wait, when did you start doing this? Because we go by the books, we see 4-3-3-4, and we say, hey, listen, we're just going to do a 4-3 and do a nickel, and then we're going to blitz something like that. No, we could do a sort of a version, but our base is 4-3. So we could actually, modify it so we can just don't give the idea to the offense of what we're doing. And I sat right there and I contemplated. I went. How that guy sits on a rock, and he had his hand on his chin, and he's just sitting there for days. That's how I did. I was like, really? Oh my gosh! And I sat there for hours thinking of the possibilities of what you can do. And I'm like, geez, over the years, you just make my brain into a flapjack. How can you do that, John Witt? Why?
Put you on the grill.
Yeah, exactly. He needs to stop doing that.
Barbecue.
Yeah, we don't want my brain barbecue, dude.
Correct.
But the understanding is the great things that John Witt did. He actually opened the door to possibilities of us potentially becoming NFC East champions again. I like this guy. He actually gave me a reassurance that he knows what he's doing, unlike Jack Del Rio. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, we're just going to run the same play. We're just going to run it.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no strategy there, Jack. What? It's that bothered me because there's no exotic blitzes. There's no, but you're going to run every cover zero that you really are going to put your team out on a limb for, you know. It just really bothered me. But moving on, I've gave too much on this, but there's a part of the segment here that I was going to ask the panel. So here's my question to the panel. The NFL is coming. The NFL draft is coming up. The NFL Combine is going to be coming up as well. Now, there's a little problem I have here. There is a lot of running backs out there, and some of them are Swiss Army knives. Don't get me wrong. I like how we have Antonio Gibson, but we are capable of keeping not just one, not just two, but potentially another running back that can be a special team player like a Brian Mitchell. I'm really eager to see how we're going to do this because, even though we got really talented players on our roster as well. So my question to the panel is, do we let go of the talented players that we have on the roster who potentially are Swiss Army knives, like a Cole Turner, like a John Bates, like that other guy, I forgot he's a skinny tight end. He was a bulky tight end. I forgot his name. It's on the tip of my tongue.
I know you're talking about the one that had the knee injury.
Yeah, the knee injury. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah. Our running back's going to stay the same because remember, Lynn, the former Chargers coach, he's in charge of the running backs, and he already said that they ain't going nowhere. Our full running backs ain't going nowhere.
That's good.
He already said that.
Okay. Okay.
The only one that it's going to be indecisive if our offensive coordinator. We either going to get, like I said, Chicago may be doing themselves a misjustice if they get Williams. And if they get Williams is not going to be too happy. Okay. But I'll take PENIX, Daniels, or even the quarterback from Michigan. Because if you look at Daniels and May statistics, Daniels outbeat May.
That's what I'm talking about, because why would you bring this is why it frustrates me, because I get to a point where we have talent in front of us and then you want to regress and get somebody that isn't that much talented than the ones that you already established, who won a Heisman, who actually threw over 5,000 yards, who has over 40 touchdowns. You want to go and get somebody that has 10 touchdowns and maybe 3 interceptions. Like, oh, he's outstanding.
Yeah, the LSU quarterback ran over 1,100 yards.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
That tells you right then and there. I would just say, keep my mouth quiet.
Or just turn your phone off for the rest of the week. Like, I don't want to hear no nonsense.
Right. Like, don't tell nobody who we gonna take.
Yeah, just go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. It's okay. Go back, dream about that guy.
It's okay. No, you wait to blank up.
Wait till the fourth round.
Well, you don't want to get them all riled up and stuff. Yeah, he's the greatest. He's the greatest. No, go back to sleep.
We got 5 picks in the top 100. 5.
Yeah.
That's more than anybody had in the last 15 years.
Thank you. That's what I'm getting at.
So
that's what I'm getting at.
We can do super damage to a lot of teams.
Yes.
A lot of people.
Yes.
So that's why people. That's why this only should know Magic. They brung these guys and stuff, and they got rid of most of them. They kept Mayhew. They kept the other guy. I ain't gonna call him a flunky, but the one that said we didn't change our names and stuff. Which we're gonna be changing.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but he brought people that win teams and stuff, and he brought this, and they not one person, because remember we only had dance night and dance night alone. He went after wherever he said that went, not a bunch of people, and we have a general manager. We had a good. Remember, in the history of Washington Redskins, we only had 3 good general managers.
Yep.
3.
Yep.
And that was Ari Belton. That was
Johnny Casserly.
I forgot the other one.
Johnny Casserly.
Castaway. And then we had the one that came from Seattle to here, and what you call told the biggest lie on him. Him and Dan Stein told the biggest lie on him. And somewhere to see. It told him a big lie. And me and Kirby had him on our show, and we was talking man to man, and and that was the biggest lie. But you know what? He's all right now.
Well, just hold on, Big Steve. We gotta get Coach, and we gotta get Lou on this too. But we're gonna come back to that as well, because I want to talk about what I was talking with Doc Rivers. I mean, not Doc Rivers, but Doc Walker on the show too. But let's go to Coach. Coach, what do you think about the question about, do we let go of the talent on our team, or do we add talent on?
I think we ought to add talent on.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so.
Seriously, I think we should keep what we got, because I know they can do it.
Yeah, I think so too.
They can do it.
We have a basis.
I think we can add talent in case somebody gets hurt or whatever happens. That's cool. And not only that, give them a breather.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Substitution is actually big on our team. Hey, Lou, man, help me out here, because there's so much, man. There's so much.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I can add more talent to it. But on the other hand, if you got the talent, why would you want to get rid of? I mean, because sometimes you can replace a person, and that can mess the whole rhythm of the team. Because I've seen players get traded from teams, and they're doing well, but then when they get traded, your team starts to go downhill from there. So it kind of goes both ways too.
That is a great point. Great point.
Right. And you got to be careful who you get.
That is
on paper, but on the field or on the court.
Antonio Gibson.
That's such a great answer, Lou. Man, you be coming through up here real quick. That is so awesome. Why would you want to mess with the environment that you already built? The great thing about Ron Rivera was...
Sorry.
No. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
That was Jerry Seinfeld. Why would you do that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. But if you look at what Ron Rivera did, he did one thing that was correct. He built the dynasty from the bottom up. But what he didn't do was coach the top bottom. What he did was he tried to put and instill a knowledge in all 3 phases. Instead of witnessing and pointing everybody into the direction and then teaching 1 and 2 and 3, he did what is called partial philosophy installment, where he'll say one thing, go to the next thing, and go to the next thing, and don't say nothing afterwards. That's not how you coach. On the sidelines, what bothered me was he sat there and watched the team just be dismantled and just folded his arms. That's what bothered me the most, because if you're a head coach, you're supposed to go to each of the phases and say, what's going on? No, let's go with this. This is not working. Stop doing that. Hey, I understand that's part of the game plan, but you see what they're doing? They're blocking. They're blocking the gap. Let's try something else. Hey, defense, what are you doing? You're not bum rushing nobody. Ain't nobody getting no pass rush. Okay, this is what you do. Blitz the crap out of them. I don't care. We're losing. Just go ahead and blitz. No. Special teams. What's going on? Yes, you could kick 65 yarders. Fine. Let's pin them at the 2. Let's do that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So you're not doing that by standing there and looking at the jumbotron like, wow, that's a really good play. Well, then you give this half-baked press conference and you go, well, we did what we could. That's a really good team right there. They actually prepared for us. Okay, what about us? Did we prepare for them? Bro, you're literally talking about, I'm gonna have to look at the tape. You were there on the field. Were you daydreaming half of the time? Were you looking at the pretty stars and the airplane that went by?
Nah, the defensive coach wasn't doing his job.
Exactly my point. And that's what I want to.
That should have been Rivera going to him and saying,
But see, they're friends. That was the problem. Del Rio and Rivera were best friends. So that brings.
It don't matter whether you're friends or not.
True, and that's why he didn't want to do anything.
Do your job.
That was one game, and the game against the Bears that Monday night. That's when Jack Del Rio went to Ron and said, "Hey man," and I'm reading his lip. He was like, "Hey man, do you want to call timeout here?" He was like, "Oh yeah, I'll call timeout." I said, "Well, call timeout for what? What you calling timeout? They already up 39? What was it? 30-17? What you calling timeout for? The game's halfway over." And that brings me back to Big Steve. Big Steve, remember we had Rick Doc Walker on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And remember the question I asked him: is Jack Del Rio the guy for this defense?
And he said no.
No. He said yes. He said yes. He said yes because he believes in Jack Del Rio scheme. And I'm like,
well, that's what we said the first time. Like, remember when they stopped the Pittsburgh Steelers? They had 6 chances to get in on first and 1. I mean, 6 times because they got penalized a couple times, and they stopped all the time. We said yes. Later on Curry show, we had some of the same question when, like, the next year, and he said, wouldn't happen because it was just like our offense. It was getting too predictable.
Right.
Right.
But see,
you can't be able to predict.
It was too predictable.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing between that day, right? That day when we stopped the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? That was in 2020 when we had the explosion. That's what during COVID. Nobody was in the stands. Everybody was trying to deal with COVID the way they were supposed to deal with COVID through the CDC. The reason why we won because Pittsburgh did not have their staff on the field. They were in quarantine. They had all the players there, and most of the players were not coached the way Mike Tomlin wanted them coached. That's why we won, because we had our coaches on the sidelines trying to help the team win. Jack Del Rio just came into the league, not to the league, but to our organization, and they were just learning the system. As they were learning the system, we kind of snuck in, went into the playoffs, and we took on Tom Brady. And that's when Taylor Heineke went crazy. He just let it go. And my point, to that point, that's how you play football. What happened the following year, everybody got hipped. Everybody got hip to what Jack Del Rio was doing, and they saw it for many years. So here's why. There's a play. What game was it? I swear to God, this game. I went back and watched Del Rio's greatest hits as a head coach of other teams. He ran the same exact play, and it frustrated me, and it got me so angry. It was against. Was it Denver or was it Miami? No, It was Miami. There's a game where he's a head coach and he had a defensive coordinator. He had a play where he had everybody up into the line in zero blitz and dropped off where he was playing zone, right? And it was full quarter. I think it was, I'm trying to remember, either it was not Raiders. What was it? I think it was an AFC East team. It wasn't Kansas City. It wasn't Raiders. Chargers.
Yes.
And their quarterback was Drew Brees. Drew Brees was the quarterback of that game. They lit Drew Brees killed them. Every zone that Jack Del Rio did lit them up. I think the score was 40-23, I believe. And Jack Del Rio looked dumbfounded. He was like, how could this happen? We had a very good defense. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's the same setup he had for us. The game that I was talking about, that we actually incurred, what was it? What game was that? Was it a Bear? No, it wasn't the Bears. It was another game that we had, and we just looked like a deer in the headlights. It was the Giants game. The Giant game's not at home. I think it was at home. Yeah, that's the same one. Yep. So we were leading, right? I think it was at home. We were leading. We just scored. Giants came back and won, scored and tied up. And then what they saw was exactly the tape that was there. You know what? This is what I'll do. I'll post it up in the group, and so you can see for yourself. I'll post the whole entire game, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about, because it just, to this day, I'm like, so you let this guy into the organization running the same play, and there's no remorse for that. I'll do it again. Okay, we'll make sure we're not hiring you next time, because you ain't doing that to us again. So I was so upset. I literally lost my cool. I'm like, this guy, he literally gambled.
You still got your TV?
No, actually I don't. It blew a tube for some reason. I don't know what happened. Don't do that. You don't want the listeners going, well, he just damaged his whole screen. No, I'm just playing. No, I really don't have a TV. It blew a tube. Yes, I was angry. Wow. We'll just say it's a mystery. But the thing about it is you don't gamble with your talent. And that's what both of them did. You gamble with your bookends, now they're with your enemies. You gamble with your defense, now the defense sucks. Right? You don't do that. You're supposed to teach and uplift. Yeah, uplift. You know? So let's go on. We spend a lot. The Wizards, like I told you before, even Danny Adenijad scored 43 against the Pelicans, didn't do anything because he scored a goose egg, 2 points against the Denver Nuggets, losing big to them. Also, we lost to I'm trying to think of who we lost to. We lost to the Thunder, the OKC, by 130-106. And I don't understand, why do we hype up Bilal and DENI? Nobody wanted them because of it. They're not that good. They're not that talented. Yes, he was on the team with the guy from the Spurs. Yes, I get it. But he's not talented. Yes, he's 19. He's a rookie. That's the only thing we're going to win. The rookie. He was a rookie that lost in the All-Star game. Why are we hyping up a loss? This is not something you say, yes, he's a rookie. He's the one of the year, and we lost the game. Okay, we're dealing with the wrong type of morals right now. I don't know what's going on. Because if we're talking about a loss, then we know what we should do. We should be cheering because we got 47 losses and 9 wins. We're going to the playoffs now. We're going to go to the finals. I want to see what we do
Yeah.
in the finals, because DENI scored 43. Bilal is what? He's like 12 points per game. You know, Poole and Kuzma averaged 22 points per game. Poole probably averaged like 17. So yeah, let's go to this playoff. Let's go to the playoffs. Thank you for coming in as well. Had some technical difficulties I'm not too happy about. So be safe out there. God bless.